Hey Pop Culture Pals, it's Cynthia, and I am here with a really odd version of a haul video. I know that this looks like a sold video, but it's not. What basically happened was this week I found some incredible items at thrift stores and mostly a couple of estate sales, and I really went on a crazy listing binge. I got like 50 items listed in 3 days, which is unheard of for me. I know that for a lot of the full timers, that's like just that's just a day, but that's a lot for me. I usually probably list closer to 5, max 10 items a day, but like I said, we put about 50 up. And mostly I did it because I had so much stuff. It was piled up around my desk and it was making me absolutely crazy. So I listed it all and then gathered it all and put it away before thinking, oh shoot, I meant to do a haul video because there's some cool stuff. So, um, forgive this weird version of a haul video, or maybe it'll be better. I don't know, but I don't normally see people do them this way. I'm going to do it this way because number one, I really want to show you some of the fun stuff I found, and maybe it'll be something that'll help you find a cool thing. So let's jump right in. I went to an estate sale that had the guy was a movie and TV collector. So my God, it was just heaven. It was basically our house, our store, in this guy's house. And he had a bunch of super, super t-shirts. And I started grabbing, I could not look things up. It was so crowded and busy. I had to just kind of grab. And this is one of the things I grabbed because I liked the art. And I went with this concept that somebody once said, if you never heard of it, buy it in regard to DVDs and CDs. And it kind of works for t-shirts too, because um, I don't know this band. And to me, that meant that could be rare. So it turns out, when I got home and did my research, that Radio Birdman is an Australian punk band. Punk t-shirts sell very well on eBay. So there are several Radio Birdman shirts up right now, but not this particular style. So I'm hoping this one means it's a little bit special. I'm starting it at $25, 20, $24.99 with free shipping, and we'll see where we go. Um, my general feeling, if you want to know and you're an eBay seller, is I tend to start on the higher side of reasonable. I looked at what other shirts were selling in this category. I wasn't going to throw this up for like $100 or something. And if it's worth 100, well then, you know what? The person who's going to get it, more power to them. I go high side of reasonable, and then I watch for um, best offer because I put best offer on everything. And if everybody keeps best offering me at the $15 range, then I'll know that's really what it belongs, should go for, and I'll bring it down. Anyway, so that's my first one, Radio Birdman. Oh, and I have to say, this guy's shirts were pristine. I don't think he wore them. I think he collected them and didn't wear them, and they were amazing condition. The next one, I bought before I realized what it was. There's the long version of it, and there's a close-up. Maybe you can get it from that. So this is where I use my son to help me out with things. This is, I recognized it as the pose that you see from the Reservoir Dogs movie shirts. And I kept thinking, but is it a cross with Pulp Fiction? What? And he's like, come on, it's Avengers. I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, there's Iron Man and Captain America. And oh, that's Hulk in the back. So, funny parody shirt. I love it. It's a 4X. And, it wasn't official anything. I don't know, somebody just designed it, made it. There's nothing like it online. There are some similar parody shirts for Reservoir Dogs, but I did not find this one. So I went $22.99, little higher side of my normal price for a t-shirt. We'll see where we go. This one was something really different. So let me show you. That's the full body on it there. This is the crazy tag on it, Mojo Wear. But see that made in the USA? And then you can't see it here, but it's got single stitching on the sleeves, and that made in the USA combined generally mean this is a vintage shirt. So this is a shirt from the Wizard's Hat, Magic Wands, Potions and Charms, Luna, Louisiana. I'm assuming this was a real place that was maybe an actual magic shop, or was like a shop that specialized in fantasy, items, or maybe a fantasy bookstore. I can't find any trace of it. If it existed, it doesn't exist anymore. And Luna, Louisiana is a real place. It could be a fictional shirt, but I don't think it is for that reason. Although it doesn't have the address of the store on it. I don't know. I'm assuming this is a real store. I loved it because I love the graphic. I loved it because it's a t-shirt from a weird store in Luna, Louisiana, and because it appears to be vintage. So I went kind of out on a limb and put it up at $35. There's nothing like this online right now. There's nothing on eBay in the history. I just picked a number that I thought was for a cool vintage shirt, and we'll see. We'll see indeed. Maybe I will do a haul video, a solds video a week from now, and it'll be gone. This one really confused me until I realized I was reading it wrong. I thought it said House Coat Protect, which made no sense. Now that it makes a lot more sense when I looked it up. So thank you, Google. I searched around, and of course, Google corrected me and said, do you mean House Coat Project, which is another punk band. So clearly the guy whose t-shirt collection I was buying was very into punk. I grabbed this for the art. It looks like fan art. It's really cool. This band is apparently, again, a band that goes back a bit into early punk history. And you can find out about them if you wiki search it. Here's how it looks full. So it's just a plain white shirt, very vintagey looking again, and just crazy art. You can't really see here if I get closer. Oh, here we go. Look, there's like this crazy man-eating plant and just like all kinds of weird stuff hidden in this picture. And the lead singer, I guess. I don't know. So given, again, that it's from a very rare but popular band, punk band, vintage shirt, I'm going with $50. There's nothing even close to it that I could find anywhere on eBay or online. So where's my punk fans? I got shirts for you. All right, move out of shirts for a moment to talk about this. Now, in this box is one of these. So this is a Kiss, as in the band, Kiss, bobblehead. And this particular one is Starchild. And he's playing, which is Paul Stanley, I believe, and he's playing football. He's actually playing LA Kiss football. This is a arena football team that was set up, I don't know, back 4 years ago, sorry, and I don't know how Kiss got involved with it. I think they had something to do with, like, they were partial owners of it or whatever, but it's called LA Kiss Football, and you will find shirts and hats and these bobbleheads pop up all the time. I had a shirt from this that wasn't even in very good condition. It sold for, like, I want to again say $30, $40. I found these bobbleheads at the local church store that I go to, and here's a little story that maybe help you out when you go to a place like this. So I walked in the toy row of all, I guess, they considered them toys, and there were two of these, the loose ones like this, just on a shelf. Now, first thing you look at, normally when they're standing around loose like this, they're broken, but they weren't. And the reason they weren't is they had just put them out. So there was Starchild and there was Starman? I don't know. I can't remember. There was two of them. I can't remember what the other one was. But as you know, there are four members of KISS, and so if there had been four, I could have sold them for over $100, even out of their box. So the two I found were out of their box. I was digging a little further, hoping to find the other two, figuring whoever donated them probably had all four, and found another one, this one, in the box on another shelf. And then I found another one out of the box of a different one. So I got two of the Starchild and two of a different one. Um, so sadly, I have four, but they're not the four different members of KISS, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm pushing a little on the price here. In the box, they do tend to go in the high 20s plus shipping, so I'm in the ballpark because I have free shipping. I also, the ones out of the box, I went closer to the 20 mark. Obviously, they don't sell as well out of the box. And I may have to sit on them for a little while because there are quite a few of them listed, but they do sell, and anything from LA Kiss football sells. Again, I don't know too much about it, but they do. So that's why I bought that. All right. Oh, more movie t-shirt. So this is from the same estate sale where I found the punk rock t-shirts. This was one of my favorites. This is a promo from 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's basically the poster art, I believe, and it is a promo shirt as opposed to, when I say promo, meaning it was made, licensed, or made to hand out like at conventions and things to promote the movie, as opposed to a shirt you'd go to Hot Topic and buy a movie shirt at Hot Topic. Those to me are not promo shirts, they're just regular licensed products. So in my mind, anyway, there's a difference. Um, so great shirt. Once again, fabulous shape. It's a medium. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but I'll totally take it. I didn't say I paid $1.50, no joke, for each of these shirts. That is cheaper than I can get them at Goodwill. Um, and this guy had bought some of these at Goodwill because he still had the Goodwill tags on them, some of them. But he was, like I said, he ran a store, a movie poster store, if I didn't say, that he, in addition to being a collector, he ran a movie poster store, and he went to every convention, Comic-Con, all of these. So he had tons of autographed items, movie posters, all these promo t-shirts and things that I'm sure, again, he got at the cons. One of the things I can't show you, maybe I'll show you next time I'm on camera, well, you'll see it. I found a baseball hat for the movie The Fan, which was, I had to grab. I was so excited to find because I was in the movie The Fan. It was the first big movie that I was an extra in. So that was a really cool find, and that's now sitting on my desk. That will not be for sale. So 10 Cloverfield Lane. Again, I went at $16.99 on this, a little higher than my normal. It's a medium. There are some others listed, and that was the ballpark. Um, this is kind of one of my jumping on the bandwagons. So I went to an estate sale that I did not do well at. I don't know if I mentioned it in the whole video. The last video I put up, I bought things that I shouldn't have bought. But the guy had a bunch of hats. This was the only one new with tags. But honestly, they were all in really good shape. And I realized after the fact, I should have spent the money I spent to buy Star Wars stuff, which I'm going to have trouble moving, I should have used to buy hats. So this, didn't know what it was at the time. This is called Real Madrid. It's a soccer or football, we call it soccer, they call it football hat. And as you can see, I said new with tags. So totally worth buying. I probably paid about $2 for it. And I should not have trouble moving it at $25.99. There are some very similar ones up, not this exact hat, but this design with in other color combinations. And they are selling in that general vicinity. So even if I end up having to drop it down to 20, even with free shipping, like I'm still well in the money on this hat. It's very nice. And let me just say too, as I show you another hat, I go back and forth on the hat thing because I know there's sellers that do really well with hats. Very, very, very well. And I know there's some hats that sell for a lot of money. We've sold some old like tech hats. I like those, Microsoft and things. Tech hats for, I'd say $30, $40. But when it comes to sports hats, like I've got a Nike up right now and some other ones, I think I just don't know enough to know what's valuable and what isn't. And there are so many sports hats that's tricky. I actually have 4 or 5 hats, I think, listed in my store still right now. I know I've got a Hotel Dell and some Disney ones that I thought certainly would go, but haven't. So, like I said, I go hot and cold on hats. Speaking of hats, so this crazy thing is a top hat. These are the sides from Six Flags. If any of you have a Six Flags theme park near you, you know that The superhero theme is very big at Six Flags. A lot of their roller coasters are based on Batman and other superheroes. So this is a superhero top hat. It's kind of felt and fuzzy and funny. Um, and again, I could not find one exactly like this. I found a top hat with Looney Tunes on it, but I think that's a real different market. I don't know. Again, this may sit, this may maybe at Halloween somebody will want it, but I think I picked it up. I probably actually overpaid for it. I think I paid about $3 or $4 for it at Goodwill at Salvation Army. So that one might have been a mistake, but it was pretty cool. I couldn't leave it behind. This hat, yes, we've got a hat theme going on, and the reason we have a hat theme going on is my husband does all the hat photographing because he has to pull out the head and backing board. And so he photographed all these in a row and put them up in a row, and there they are. So this is Underworld Rise of the Lycans. This was a promo hat, a beanie, definitely promo. Um, excuse me. Again, probably picked up at a convention. There are none up. So I went on the high side of $28.99. We did get, as you can see, History 2 offers. We did get an offer on it right away for about half the price. Um, there's no question that if this had been up for months, I would have taken $15 totally. It's going to cost probably $3 to ship. I paid, again, probably $1 or $2 for it, maybe $2. Um, but the when I get an offer that low the day after I put it up, I'm usually reluctant to take it. I did counter, and the person did not accept it. So here we are, Underworld Rise Lycan. It's a nice hat. If anybody likes that movie. Something a little bit different. I've had this really, really weird. That was really weird. I've had this really strange luck with Thomas the Train or Thomas the Tank Engine, however you do, or Thomas and Friends. Um, Things, all kinds of things. Weeks ago, I found a whole set of track, and I always find cars. I picked up a box of the train cars at an estate sale months ago, which oddly haven't sold, and I was really surprised about that because Thomas stuff's usually pretty hot. So recently I found a set of wooden buildings like this, and this was at my church store again, someone had turned in one of those beautiful giant play tables that has like the track embedded in it, and I bet you that all of these came from that person. So there were three. There was a windmill, a mine entrance, and some kind of crane. I was thinking about selling them all together, and I might still, if these don't go on their own. But they do tend to sell in the $25 to $30 range, and then shipping on top, because they're good quality wooden toys. And if you've got these train tracks, these things are expensive to buy new. These aren't played with condition, but they're heavy to ship, so I got to watch that a little bit. But I'm not totally recommending that you buy Thomas stuff, but I'm not saying ignore it. It used to be a better seller than it is right now. And maybe again that's seasonal. Maybe when we get into fall and closer to Christmas and all of that and people start thinking about trains and stuff, I don't know. But or maybe Thomas's days are numbered. I don't know. Worst case scenario, if 6 months go by, I will take all of this Thomas stuff I have now, which is quite a bit, enough that I made a category for it at my store, and I will make one big giant lot and put it on auction. And as long as I cover my shipping and get some profit out of it, I'll be fine and dandy with that. Because the downside of this stuff is it takes up a lot of room. Speaking of taking up a lot of room, this was my big find. I think I did mention these to you on another video if you were watching. This is a Disney Musical Memories music box. It happens to be the Great Mouse Detective. The little blue girl in the center, when you wind the bottom, she spins around when it plays music. I don't know what it plays because I don't know the theme, so I assume it's the theme to the movie. It is a limited edition. You can see there, this was number 4,000 of 19,000. plays beautifully. And the reason it's in such amazing condition is the person who bought it never took it out of the box. And I know this because the box was sealed with the original tape with the mailing address across the box opening. So there's no way anybody could have opened this box. I mean, a magician could have opened the box. That's it. Side note, have you been watching Deception? Oh my God, I love that new show. It's really fun. So, this was a weird find, and I know I've told the story before, but I was at this estate sale once before, and I did not see these. They, like 2 months later, had a sale again. They had opened up a room that had not been opened before, and on the floor were all these boxes. And some of the boxes were open, and foam was out, and music boxes were seen. The downside is they were broken because they had been opened and thrown on the floor. The two I found, which was, I think it was Aristocats, and I can't remember the other, Robin Hood, I think, maybe, I'm not sure. But they were broken. And I considered buying them anyway because my husband could fix them because I felt like they were probably worth a lot of money. But then when I realized the box they came out of, I scanned the room and realized that there were more boxes just like that that had never been opened. And that's how I found this one and one more. So what I liked particularly about this one is that it's an unusual Disney movie. It's not one you see a lot of things for. The other one I got was Black Cauldron. That's the one I feel like I showed you guys. Another, again, very unusual Disney movie. I only bought the two. She charged me $10 a piece, which is amazing for them. All of them minimally have been selling for $40 plus shipping, and some a lot more than that. But I did that thing where I went home and thought, I should have bought more. And I went back to the sale the next day, and all of them were gone, including the broken ones. So somebody had just come in after me and bought them all up. I'm not crying about them again because they're going to be a pain to ship. Although, actually not because they're coming in their original box, but I'm still going to get nervous about it. And they're bulky, take up a lot of room. So I've got it up at $75, which is really reasonable for this one. And we'll see. We just put it up a day or so ago. This is another one of these I bought because it was so cute, but I may have trouble moving it. Scrub tops used to be, another used to, like Thomas, used to be very easy flips on eBay. If you had a scrub top with some kind of a cool, particularly a pop culture design, you could flip it. And you can still. They do still flip fairly easily. I don't think I have any in my store right now, and I've had dozens in the past. But they tend to sell in the $10 range now. And that's free shipping. Now, they don't cost a lot to ship because they are very light. And I also always feel like if you're a nurse and you really want this, I can't argue with you. So I do try to make as best deal as I can because I feel for nurses and teachers. This one was just too adorable. Look at this. Be Zen. So it's baby poo. Be free. Be calm. And it ties in the back. And look at that. Isn't that the weirdest tag? The Wonderful World of Disney tag? Have you ever seen anything like that? And it's a kind of a little higher end. Um, the way it's cut is a little bit different than the usual scrub top that's just square. It has that nice little neckline. It's a real quality piece. And it's very clean. Doesn't look like it's hardly ever been used. I paid I paid $4 for it. I didn't know that when I brought it to the counter, and she was like, women's top, $4, and I was like, all right. I like to spend less than $4 on any kind of shirts that I buy, but I'll go for that. Excuse me, swallowing and drinking. Um, the other reason I would have hesitated if I hadn't been in a I want to buy it mood is that Winnie the Pooh in general also has slowed for me. I used to sell a ton of Pooh stuff, and I don't know if the market's just gotten flooded or he's just not hot as he used to be. Poor Pooh. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm probably going to end up taking a lot less than $15.99 on this, but that's okay. Like I said, I wanted to rescue it. buy a lot of things for that reason. This is another one of the movie promo shirts I picked up at that estate sale. It's Minority Report. This is the back. And then this one's odd. It's made of this bizarre material that it says it's 100% cotton, but it's almost slick, but not in a polyester way. It's got this, I don't know, it's like this spacey fabric. It's cool. It kind of reminds me of the dry fit fabric that they use in the running shirts. So, again, I went with the price that most people are getting for the ones. There's similar ones up, not this exact one. So we're going for $24.99 to start with. This is a large. This one I probably should have left behind, but it was in my pile and I had the money, so I went for it. Mr. Incredible. This is the front of the shirt. It's obviously from Incredibles. It's a Disney store, large. It would be a great Father's Day gift. So, um, we'll look for that. Hopefully somebody will like that. I see a mistake in my title too. Now I have to fix when we're done. So it is a long sleeve Disney Store shirt, so I put it up at $26.99. There are other ones up that are not selling for this kind of price, and quite a few of them that are still sitting, waiting to be sold. So again, I don't know. We'll see. Might surprise me, and it'll go, especially by Father's Day. But I bought it for obvious reasons. Disney movie studio, great condition, long sleeve shirt. This is something I love to buy, and it's not as good a hit as I thought it was going to be. So White Dwarf is a from Games Workshop, so it's a Warhammer magazine. Now, where I got a little confused in my own mind is that video game magazines, old video game magazines from the 80s, um, sell really well, like really well. This is a gaming magazine, but it's more tabletop gaming, I believe would be the term. And for whatever reason, these magazines are very popular in the UK and they sell very well over there. They don't sell as well over here. So while I was hoping I was going to get 20 each, I'm actually probably going to be lucky to get 20 for the two of them. And since they are magazines with ads, they cannot go media mail. I know you think they cannot. Media mail, if you have advertising, so all magazines do not qualify, which means, and they're probably over £1 because paper, oddly, weighs a lot. So I'm probably going to have to invest, $7 to $8 in shipping these if they're going anywhere further than down the street. I bought another one. I got a Best of White Dwarf shirt, magazine, and that one should do a little bit better. But don't, the point here is if you see 80s, any kind of 80s gaming magazines, stop and take a good look because some of them are worth a lot of money. Matter of fact, let me jump over here and show you. This is a similar idea. So this is Battle Technology, the magazine of combat in the 31st century. This is the first issue, and it's really funny because look at the date. That the publishing date is 3027. So this is a magazine from the future. How about that? This is a magazine for people who play BattleTech and other mech warrior games. Again, tabletop games, or I think actually this was a PC game, not a tabletop game. Or maybe it was both. But here's the really crazy coincidence. I, again, grabbed it because it was vintage gaming. I did not look it up because it was too crazy to look up. And when I got here, I found out that there's very few for sale here in the US. Again, they're more, you see them in England. They sell in England for about $30, American version. And the craziest thing is I look up BattleTech and find out that that game is making a comeback. In the last week, a company announced that they're going to start making BattleTech for the PC, I think, or for other gaming units. I don't know what. But that is just a lucky stroke for me. So I'm hoping that means that I shouldn't have any trouble shifting this magazine for the $30 that they're paying in the UK for it. The cover is loose. It does have some issues on the edge. And if you're a Battlestar Galactica fan, did I already say this? Do they not look like Colonial Warriors on the cover of this magazine? I thought so. So that could be a real find. And let me tell you, the estate sale that I got, this came from that same estate sale of the movie collector, where all the t-shirts came from. we spent 40 the first day. First, I went there twice, 40 early in the day, and then again another 35, 40, 75. So about we probably spent with about $80 there. If I could sell this magazine for 30 and then a couple of the t-shirts, that would pay for everything we bought. And we kept items. So I have to say this, the other reason I do what we do is we're collectors as well. And by being able to flip items, we can then afford to keep items. Like I found I'll show it to you next time. In addition to the fan hat, I found a Monkees, as in the band, the Monkees, um, heart-shaped ceramic box, which is just so sweet. And then we found several autographed pictures. Stella Stevens, that's wild. I will have to show that one to you. And a couple other actors' autographed signatures. And I'm confident that the signatures are real. Clearly this guy was going to conventions. A lot of the same ones, a lot of them are people that we've seen at conventions and we've had things signed. So um, there's no question that these things are authentic. So we'll get to keep a few and, you know, get to keep it all for free when we resell everything else. Okay, it's after midnight. I'm wearing out, but I have a couple more things I want to show you. I'll go faster. This is another thing we picked up at the same place. This is the Maskers Honor Bob Steele. This guy was really into early westerns, and Bob Steele was an early western actor. The Maskers is a old Hollywood actors club, the oldest in Hollywood, and they would have um, honorary gatherings where they would honor one of their members, obviously. And this was the program, and then you'd have the ads, just like kind of in school, like this. So look at this, isn't that beautiful? So this was Disney's, congratulating Bob Steele. This was F Troop congratulating him. I guess he was Duffy on F Troop. I guess I remember that character. Liberace. So these are not autographed. They're ads that were in the magazine, but really cool. Again, I only saw one other Maskers Honors program online, and it had sold for the 23, so I put it up for the same price, and we'll see how it goes. Western stuff usually does really well. And speaking of Westerns, I wanted to show you this one for a weird reason. This is Sugarfoot, the complete second season television series, Western TV series. This is what interested me. It's autographed. Now, so many of the things in this guy's house were autographed. I assumed he took this DVD to a convention, got Will Hutchins to autograph it. What was odd is it doesn't say to Chuck, which almost everything else that we bought that was autographed said to Chuck. So when I did a little digging around, because I thought it's autographed, it's going to go for a ton of money. When I was digging around, I saw other people saying that they came from Warner Brothers this way, signed. But they are actually signed as far as I can tell. So it's not like a reproduction signature on the box. It looks like Warner Brothers got the actor to sign a bunch of them, probably again for an event, maybe for the DVD release at Comic-Con or something like that. So the DVD itself is fairly rare, and I think the signature pumps it up some. So I'm looking at $65. Am I probably going to come down for that? Probably. Am I willing to come down from that? Yes, but that's where I'm starting. This was one of my mistakes, I think. In addition to collecting Westerns, he was very into pulp style. Um, I don't know what they're called. All those movies in the 50s that were like, I was a teenage delinquent, prisoners, the women prisoners go wild, those kind of crazy movies. And he was also a big Scream Queen fan. So all those women who did all those crazy horror movies in the 60s and 70s, Scream Queens. Um, so this is a little box of trading cards with images of movie posters from the 50s, from those sort of pulp movies of the 50s, trash masterpieces. There you go. I thought it was really cool, but they barely sell. People have them online. They're not moving. So, if I get $10 and half of that'll go to shipping, I bought it, I listed it, but yeah, that was not a good choice. This is another one I thought would do better than it looks like it's going to do. This is called Boys Cinema, and what this is why it's confusing, is it's a official reprint, that makes sense, of a 1930 magazine. So a company called Screen Facts, probably in the 80s, got these old 1930s, I think they were British magazines, and reprinted them and sold them. And what they are like stories from the movie serials that were big in the 30s, particularly like these Prison Nurse. You'll see that one. It's Painted Stallion, and then Prison Nurse. Can you love that? A story of lives in jeopardy. Look at that. Wanted by the police. Look, he looks quite young to be wanted by the police. A car racketeering melodrama. Ooh. And look at this one, Storm over Bengal. So they have like this. So they have stories in them, and then like movie, like what's coming up in the movies and all that kind of thing. So it was kind of a movie magazine for boys with fiction in it. So I don't know what that would be comparable to, but I thought they were pretty cool. And there's a Tarzan version that sells really well. Otherwise, they don't sell that great. Probably again shouldn't have invested in these, but I did, and hopefully they're going to find a good home because I think they're pretty neat. So hopefully there's somebody out there that likes the old movie serials that will want those. This is I really did pick a weird mix of things. Um, so these next three items came from this estate sale that I went to before I found out there was this movie one. I was so mad at myself. Somehow I missed this movie TV one that was in our nearby. I don't know how I missed it because I check the estate sale listings every day. So I went to a different estate sale that had some Star Wars stuff, and I overspent, like I said, on things I should not have bought, which left me a little later when I did find the movie one the next day. So that's kind of what makes me mad. If I could have bought more stuff there. One of the things I found at the Star Wars sale were these little infant Crocs. Again, I didn't look them up at the time because they were just too cute, and they were all of them like $1. And they had their tags. You can see they're brand new. I thought, again, also they'd be a little higher price than those. I thought they'd go for a little bit more. Um, but I think they'll go. And I think by summertime, for sure, they're just so darling. But there are a lot of them up, and there's ones up that still have their box. Um, these don't look like they ever had a box because they have a tag. So I don't know. But clearly they've never been worn because the tag's still attached. This is what else is funny. I don't even know the last time I ever bought baby shoes, and I bought two baby shoes in the last 2 weeks. I found these Tommy Hilfiger crib shoes at a store that I grabbed because they were just, again, too adorable. And then I found these. How weird. Um, this is the item that kind of messed me up. So this is a giant Star Wars Disney Hot Wheels 10 die-cast starships and fight controller. So you attach the ships to that hand part, here you go, like this, and then you fly it around and it makes battle noises and all that, and it comes with all these ships. And it's huge. The box is over a foot long. Um, I paid 10 for it, which in theory is great, but they're not moving. Like they sell every now and then, but they really don't sell well, and it's so huge you got to charge like 25 to ship it. If Christmas was coming up, I know I'd have no trouble shifting this, but this time of year, I think this thing's gonna sit. And like I said, it's so big. Had to find a special place in my house to put it. I don't know what I was thinking. I just got completely suckered in by the fact that this was Star Wars in package. Right next to this was a very heavy-duty BB-8 toy that talks. It's interactive. It responds when you make noises. It talks and it rolls. It actually rolls across the floor just like BB-8. Adorable. I paid $8 for that. It was not in its package, but it worked. It was in great condition. And then I come home and find it's like barely sells for like $15, that you can get it new in box for like 25. So why would anybody buy a used one? So I would have listed it anyway, but my son asked if he could have that. So I let him have that one. And then this one, this. So between those two, again, that was like $18 that I think I'm going to be lucky once we pay shipping and everything to even make our $18 back. Um, yeah, I'm not happy with myself about this because here's the second not happy about it. I will end with a good thing though. I've got two things to show you, one bad, one good. So this is the other thing I got pulled in. when I was in that closet looking at that Star Wars stuff, I saw this collection of Gundam model kits. And I went, Gundam. Gundam is big. Gundam model kits were expensive originally. A lot of them come straight from Japan. Totally going to buy these. Even if they're not complete, I'm going to buy them because people will want them. The boxes are great. They wanted 4 each on the big ones and 3 on the little ones. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's $15. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't know what I was thinking. I know you're looking at the price right now and going, are you kidding? You're going to make a ton of money. Mm. I looked these up when I got home. And again, I sort of looked them up there. I use the eBay app, and I don't know what the heck is going on with the eBay app, but it is not giving you the full picture. It will just like, it shows you like 2 models sold for like $50. And I went, well, there you go. But then I come home and find there's 25 of them that aren't selling or that are listed for $10. You can get these like out of Hong Kong or Japan or China or somewhere for, like 15 shipped. New, brand new in the box. So again, I'm kind of annoyed with myself. And this one, I didn't worry about it because we did sell Gundam models in the past for a lot of money. So rather than try to break them up, because I don't know that they're complete, they're pretty close to complete, but I think there could potentially be some small pieces missing, and they're 2 of them are partially built. I just decided to lump them all together and see if somebody will give me $100 for the lot. It's going to cost at least 20 some to ship them because they're bulky. And again, I'll just start working my way down from there until they go. I really don't want to divide them up. I'd rather just sell them as a big lot like this, unless I have to. So another thing I don't recommend you buying without doing really thorough research unless they're sealed or you are positive all the pieces are in there. Because, yeah, Gundam not what it used to be. So finally, yes, finally, we will end with a surprise that I got. So this, again, this movie collector had boxes and boxes and boxes of 8x10 photos. During our 2 visits to the estate sale, they kept moving things around because they were consolidating the room as the day was getting later. They had moved all of the autographs that had been spread out on a table into a box in the dining room that I almost missed. And I happened to catch it literally as they were saying, like, we're getting ready to close. And what stuck out was this black scorpion, um, what you see over here. That is a cardboard folder promoting the Black Scorpion coming out on VHS. I saw that and thought, oh, that's kind of fun. I'll just grab that. What are they going to charge me? 10 cents? 50 cents? And tucked into that was a Black Scorpion calendar from Sci-Fi Channel when it aired on Sci-Fi. So it's an old calendar, 2011, whatever. I didn't look any further than that. They were getting ready to close. She charged me $1 for the whole pack, which, all right, could have been less than that. She could have thrown it in, but I'll take it for $1. And it wasn't until I got home and I started looking through it that I realized this. Okay, so that's the press book. But look at this. 3 of the calendars are autographed. So this is Sherry Rose. This is Athena Massey, who I believe is also a Star Trek actor, and that is Terry Vaughn, who, or did I get the names mixed up? I don't think that's Terry Vaughn. Did I get my names mixed up? Sherry Rose. Well, Athena. Okay, and as I'm showing you this to you, I may have to double check that one. I thought for sure that was the character of Terry Vaughn, but that doesn't look like a signature that says Terry Vaughn. Anyway, so yeah, that was pretty cool. So it's autographed by 3 of the actresses from the show. That was completely unexpected, and like I said, at least 2 of them are autographs that people look for because they are Star Trek actors in other shows. So that was kind of fun. So I'm hoping I'm going to get 50 on the grouping, which is a nice deal for 3 autographs and a Black Scorpion press book if you're a fan of Black Scorpion. So that's it. I'm going to stop there. I'm losing my voice. It's getting late. I hope this worked for you. I know this isn't the way said haul videos are normally done, but it's what I had. And hopefully you did see something that will help you in your quest to make some pop culture profits in this coming week. I will see you. I will try later this week to get another sold video up for you, and we'll see if any of these things have sold in the meantime. See you later.